Good morning. Okay, happy Monday to you, and welcome to 9 to Noon. Excellent work, per usual, by the master mixer of the Monday Montage, Eric Nordquist, producer of 9 to Noon, and one of the co-hosts of the Friday Football
Feast.
Ain't no feast.
Ugh.
Ain't no feast anymore.
Feastless.
Talked to Wayne Larrabee this morning. Missed him on the phone call, play-by-play guy for the Green Bay Packers. And he called back. I missed him. Left me this voicemail.
Fall down, Chicago Bears. Ha ha ha. You're not in first.
Meanwhile, given the Bears beat the Packers a couple of weeks ago, Matt LaFleur had a lot to say following yesterday's L to the Minnesota Vikings. But when pressed on his matchup potentially against the Chicago Bears in the postseason, Mr. LaFleur said,
"And I will have my vengeance in this life or the next."
I wonder if we ever, 9 to Noon, will montage end of a season with Queen.
Ooh.
And we are the champions.
Wow.
I wonder if 9 to Noon ever will montage end of a long season with Queen. We are the champions. Every single year. Every single year. It's Brian McKnight and One Last Cry. And that seems to be what it was yesterday at U.S. Bank Stadium for the likes of Harrison Smith, C.J. Ham, members of their families in the stands, and even some teammates. C.J. Ham is a professional and personal mentor for young Vikings running back Xavier Scott. And Xavier was very emotional on the sideline as C.J. Ham was embracing said back and his teammates. Tears dropped the eye of the Duluth native, too. Green Bay went third preseason game on it with the Sorrells and Kenny James of the world. LaFleur took a timeout with a second left to make sure his squad didn't get shut out. The venerable C.J. Ham scored the game's only touchdown. Took both teams an hour to convert a third down. Dallas Turner took advantage of an overmatched backup tackle, which is what he's supposed to do. It looks like he's heading the right way in a hurry. Reichard's the best kicker in the National Football League, and don't at me. Will Reichard is the best kicker in the National Football League, and don't at me. Jefferson had his first 100-yard game since London. And Green Bay heads to the wild card round to play Chicago. And it stinks. The Minnesota Vikings are not going to the playoffs. Seriously, I don't use the word hate frequently. I just hate it. Hate it. Expected a playoff berth into the season. Didn't get it. 3 quarterbacks played. 2 would be too many. And a season that was a big fat Ran my Flores to Pittsburgh scenario on Unfurled Friday at the Feast by somebody who knows more about the inner workings of the game than me. And I'm now off that take.
Allen, up and at him.
Yep, Allen up and at him. I'm now off that take.
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
Hear me when I tell you this. I am off my big Tomlin will fix the race with the Rooney's take. Let the record show. Plenty of time to chat B-Flow and the Minnesota Vikings. Plenty of time to discuss McCarthy and the play, leave, and so on. Would love to see the defense and the kicker in the playoffs. I think everybody else would, too, who supports Minnesota Vikings football. And are taking a day with the 24-hour rule to just hate the fact the Minnesota Vikings are not in the postseason. But que sera, sera, right? Whatever will be, que sera, sera. So what did you think of the season? Talkbacks around 9:45 and during the week if interested. Talkbacks on all this Vikings non-playoff stuff. And if you're so inclined, the careers of 22 and 30. And your chance to be heard via the free iHeart audio app. Download it now. That's where you do the talkbacks. But first, our final locker room drive-bys of 2025. The Minnesota Vikings finished on a 5-game winning streak, and O'Connell has won more than he's lost 3 of his 4 years. Harry and CJ Ham were common threads in the chats, and we started with safety Theo Jackson. My man won 57 games to start his career, sans a sack, and now he has won in consecutive games. Theo Jackson started the drive-bys with the safety, asking him, Theo, overall, what'd you think of this whole 9-8?
It was definitely a season that we didn't plan on having. I feel like we had a lot of growth since the start of the season. To finish off this way, I feel like that we're going in the right direction for next year.
And the Vikings beat Green Bay by 13 to close festivities. Very emotional with Kevin, the coach, taking a timeout so Harrison Smith can get that ovation. And just like the Lions game, you guys went to 11 on him on the sideline. If this is it for Harrison Smith, you being a safety, what have you learned from him? Like, what can you model after the way he plays?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to model Tutu. But, I feel like just the way he thinks about the game, the way he moves during the game, I feel like I picked up a lot on that. And, really just trusting what you're seeing.
And lastly, what about CJ Ham? I mean, CJ got super emotional too at the end. Holy cow. I mean, a couple of great guys and dynamite players, but CJ Ham too, man. What's it like? What has it been like being a teammate with CJ?
That's my dog, man. Special teams, me and him, we bonded a lot over these last 4 years. And that's tough. I don't even know what to even say about CJ. Like, it's nothing but great things that you can say about CJ. So, I told him this to his face. I said, I hate it, but I love that for you. So, I'm probably gonna call him a couple times, but I'm happy for him.
Enjoy your off season. Thank you for your kindness as usual, and congratulations on finishing with a winning record.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. That's Theo Jackson as the drive-bys are underway here in a Minnesota Vikings locker room that is celebratory following a 16-3 victory over the Green Bay Packers. Border battle 131 goes the way of the Minnesota Vikings. And let's see what we can do over here. They're rolling in and out of this locker room. And here we go. A couple of offensive linemen, 2 of my favorite, too. Michael Juergens. Not many starts. I had less than a handful of starts for you, man. But they came at the end, and you played quite well. What do you think can possibly pave the way, not only for you, but like the offensive line and everything moving forward?
I think it's just continuing to get reps all together. Like you said, we had a lot of different combinations in the line this year. I'll say it a little differently than you said it, but we have a lot of fun together. We spent a lot of time together, and I think, we were an ascending group, and throughout the offseason, we're going to continue to ascend, and I think it was a special group, and I think we were playing our best football here at the end of the year, and just got to hit that stride into the offseason and carry that momentum.
Yeah, it's like 24, 25 different offensive line combinations this year. It's been unbelievable. And you're still very young in your career, and there are many, many starts ahead of you as your career rolls on. Like, what did this experience help you with, going against the likes of Aleem McNeil and then the Packers today, stuff like that? Like what did you learn into the season that really has you pining to come back and improve next year?
I think it's just taking those reps and learning what it's like to be out there in a game and understanding what to focus on, understand what to hear in the play call, how to make the calls that it's best for the line. Especially for me, coming from an RPO system, learning how the different aiming points in the blocks and how to attack those combos. It's something I've gotten more comfortable with throughout the year, and something that now I've gotten game reps and experience it with. I can continue to visualize it and grow on it, and do a lot of that in the offseason.
My man, what can you say about the guy to my right, Will Fries? I mean, all those offensive line combinations. My man's out here starting all 17.
I don't believe that guy missed a snap. Yeah, he's a warrior, especially coming off a. I don't want to say it, but after last season, and he's a great guy, great to have in the room. He's awesome. I'm really happy he's here.
Enjoy your off season. Thank you for the time.
Paul, appreciate you.
Michael Juergens. Will, 17 starts, didn't miss a snap. I mean, we've discussed it before a little bit. We ain't got to get in depth into it, but I mean, like when you got here, you were coming off a pretty significant injury, and watching you in training camp and stuff like that, it just seemed from afar, because you've had an excellent career, that Will's working himself back into shape and then off the injury and everything, and then boom, we play against the Bears at Soldier Field and just finished beating the Green Bay Packers for a 9-8 record, and you made all the starts. I mean, that's just congratulations, man. I know you're paid to do that, but all those offensive line combinations, that had to be difficult, right?
Yeah, I'm really lucky to be able to make it through the year healthy, and I have a lot of really good teammates to lean on. It wasn't easy the whole year, but having guys like Brian O'Neill next to me, Ryan Kelly, and Michael Juergens stepped in late in the year, like those guys are rocks, and it's awesome playing next to them, and they helped me the entire year, kind of make it through. So I got to give all my credit to the teammates.
And your right tackle Brian O'Neill played in his 17th border battle today against Green Bay, and even like Blake Brandel, I mean, the position flexibility he had to step in for Brian in that Detroit game. I mean, you guys have depth with this, but really it just seems from afar like it was a very cohesive, tight group. Like you guys really enjoy each other's company.
Oh man, it's the best group of guys in the world. I wouldn't want to play with anyone else. The way they accepted me into the group, coming from a different team, and the way we were able to grow the whole year, and like you kind of said, all those different line combinations kind of help out. It's tough at first, but when you start getting reps next to each other and learning each other, it just helps the whole group grow as a whole. And those guys that got their chance to play, they're going to keep getting better. It's a big off season for everyone, and we got a lot to build off and look forward to this off season.
Will, you're fantastic. It was great getting to know you a lot better getting to know you, period, but as well as we did by the end of the year. You're very good at what you do, man. Look forward to calling your games next year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
See you, bud. That's Will Fries.
Thank you, by the way, for what you said last week. My wife loved it, so.
Can't remember what I said, but it sounds like it was complimentary, and God bless you and your family, okay? Will Fries started all 17 games. All right, last drive-by. I mean, I got to say good. Yeah, look at that big smile right there and those nice chains. Congratulations on joining Randy, HOF, and Mike Evans as future HOF for sure, as one of only 3 to have at least 1,000 yards in 6 seasons. You had more than 100 yards today, thank heavens, for the first time since that Cleveland-Tottenham Hotspur game. And also earlier in the week, man, I was there for it. I came out for it, too, to see your reaction. I'm the announcer. I'm not really media, but you and I do so much work together during the season, man. I wanted to see you accept that media Corey Stringer Good Guy Award for the second time, I believe, too. So what's that mean to you when the media acknowledges you like that?
No, it means a lot. Just after this season, it's been a difficult season, emotionally, physically. So it's just. It's part of my job to come here. I got that C on my chest. I'm classified a leader of this team, so it's up to me. Whether I come in the building and I continue to lead, continue to have that high spirit, and continue to motivate my teammates to continue to push forward, rather than having my head down and being negative and really giving up on the season. So I love this team. I love this game of football that I play every single day. So it's just about being blessed to come out here and playing this sport that I love at the highest level. So it's really just. It's just one of those tough ones, man. I hate to see, this be our last opportunity of this season. I hate to see my dog Harry and CJ Ham go out. But the fact that we finished the season 5 straight wins, and we can come in this locker room with a happy smile on our face, and with that pride and joy about continue to finish the season and continue on to next season. So it's definitely a journey.
Justin, what was it like having CJ Ham as a teammate?
Oh, great, phenomenal. Just to hear his story when I first came in, to see him lead, to see him blossom as a player. It's not too many fullbacks that's still in this league. So for him to continue to be a main role in our offense, to score today, to have his last touchdown on the field, in front of his family, in front of his fans, that's the thing that means the most. To see him crying with emotions, about the love that he had for this game, the love that he had for his teammates, in this organization. that really means a lot.
And lastly, you decompression time, right? Just get away wherever you're going to go to your family or whatever, and just like. What do you do? I mean, because, it needs to be better next year. Not you. The passing part needs to be better next year. McCarthy started his 10th game today. So, if you look at Drake May and Bo Nix and all those Caleb, through their first 10 games, they had some problems too. So, I mean, the young man needs more opportunity, right?
Oh, for sure. And, we definitely will connect more. Our relationship will be connecting more, throughout this offseason. So we don't have the same results. So we don't, come back and say we should have did this, or we're regretting, different moves or different decisions that we made. So it's up to me. It's up to the guys in this room to get better and to continue to get better. And as a captain, as a leader, as one of the best receivers of the league, I gotta get my youngin with me and connect with him more and more. So that's definitely the plan this offseason.
We can eliminate one of and just go with the best receiver in the NFL, because you are. And, man, there was a touchdown earlier this season here where you were just blocking your tail off to get the running game into the end zone. So you know what I think of you, man. You're fantastic. Thank you very much for the kindness all year, and may God bless you and your family.
Always. Appreciate you, Paul.
Thank you. See you, bud. That's Justin Jefferson. Love you, too. Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the NFL, with a drive-by. See you, bud. Brian O'Neill, 17th border battle against Green Bay, and chatted with Juergens and Will Fries a little bit. But, man, I mean, you've been through and seen a lot. But, I mean, like 23, 24, 25 different offensive line combinations this year, that's just crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's not ideal. But, we made the most of it. And, a lot of credit to the guys who came in that weren't expecting to have to play a lot this year. And came in and did an admirable job. Juergens came in and did a really good job at center. Blake Brandel has now played meaningful snaps at every single position on the offensive line for the Vikings, which is really cool. And just one of the all-time best glue guys and locker room guys, line room guys that you could ask for. And they told me yesterday, if it's going really well, we're going to get Blake some action at the end. They give him a little send off for a job well done this year. So, it was a really fun day for a lot of different reasons.
Brian, what has it been like being a teammate with CJ Ham?
It's been awesome. He really is the best. Unbelievable player, unbelievable person, unbelievable teammate. And I'm gonna be calling him this summer. I know it might be it, but I'm holding out hope. I don't know if he is, but I love that dude.
What about Harrison Smith?
All time Viking, first ballot Ring of Honor, should be Hall of Fame. Just one of the realest dudes that you could ever ask for. Football player. I think the best compliment I've heard somebody give him is he loves playing football. He loves being he loves playing football, not being a football player. He loves the game. He loves the team. He loves the locker room. All the other stuff he's okay with, but he loves this. And if we had more guys like that, we'd be in a really good spot.
Yeah, well, we do with you. Like I've said before, one of the toughest guys that I've called in a quarter century. And I appreciate the kindness with these little chats. May God bless you and your family this offseason. Look forward to seeing you at OTAs.
Appreciate it, PA. I'll be there. Thank you.
That's Brian O'Neill. Right tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. Drive-bys after a victory over the Green Bay Packers. I got to stop you real quick. What happened?
It was a great vibe today. Obviously, to finish the season strong like that, and obviously, to see Harrison Smith's moment, it was definitely, in CJ Ham, it was a very emotional day today, but it felt good to get the dub.
Well, Byron Murphy Jr., when I say what happened, I meant, you went 18 in a row without a pick, then you got picks in 2 consecutive games. We needed to get 3 consecutive games here, but it's not like they threw it a ton.
Exactly, but we always talk about this. Once they come in bunches. Obviously, just sticking to the script. Obviously, wanted more turnovers for this defense. But obviously, just kept my head right, got the interceptions that I needed to make those plays. But they'll be there again.
Byron, what has Harrison Smith meant to you?
That's a big brother to me. Obviously, been watching him since I was younger. Just to be his teammate. always a blessing just to be his teammate. And obviously, he's the leader of our defense. So, but obviously, all the stuff he's done for this game, that's the most respected, and I know he knows that as well.
You're awesome. Enjoy your off season. May God bless your family, and I look forward to seeing you at OTA.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Appreciate you.
Byron Murphy Jr., one of our very favorites here in the drive-by covenant. Where let's head over here and find another defensive person. Here's Andrew Van Ginkel. Mr. Van Ginkel, what's going on, my man? Everything good?
Not today.
Got it, okay. Well, I thought the not today. I mean, you were down on the field for like 3 seconds longer than normal. I'm like, holy cow, did he get hurt or something? Oh, the 9-8 season. I want to just begin here with a couple of drive-bys for you. Harrison Smith, you're 2 years here. You played with Harrison. You know, I know you're not in the DB's room, but nevertheless, he's a scholar of the game. And to hear Kevin O'Connell describe like the cat and mouse game against Dak Prescott and the likes of Jared Goff, a couple of high enders right there. What's it like being a teammate with Harrison Smith?
No, you know, it's special. I've learned a lot from him, had some great conversations. You know, something that I'll cherish forever. And who knows if this will be his last game or not. You know, he's had a hell of a career. You know, I got to watch him growing up, and then I get to play with him. It's something that's, you know, truly special to me. And when you see a guy like that play at this type of level, it's special. And the way he can impact the game it's one of one.
Andrew, and that's one of many things that I genuinely appreciate about you is how some of the most simplistic things are special to you. You know, the simple things in life. Hey, Dallas, congratulations. Good job, bud. Dallas Turner, a couple of sacks today. But like pregame, when you saw Jim Kleinsasser on the sideline, Carrington, North Dakota, meet Rock Valley, Iowa, you wanted to meet Jim, you know, because I know you have appreciation for his game from like when you were growing up, but it's like the simple things like that, you know, those are important, right?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, someone that you hear on the radio from, you know, UPAs, it's special when you get to meet a guy like that with his impact to this team, to this organization. And, you know, that's what they do a great job here with all the legends and guys that have had success and, you know, made an impact on this team is truly, is cool. And, when you get to meet a guy like that, you get to really, just dig into what it means to be a Viking and be a part of such a great organization.
Lastly, with Brian Flores and the defense that you guys unfurl, the more you play in it, 2 years for you now, you know, but you did miss some time this year. The farther you get into the season, are the tricks and the deception and like the expectations easier to decipher? Because I mean, it's one of the most underrated stories in the NFL because the record's 9-8, that the Vikings defense is absolutely one of the best overall defenses in the NFL, but it's not going to the playoffs. So nationally, not a lot of people talk about it, but is Flores defense easier to decipher for veterans?
Yeah. You know, I think if you want to play in Flores defense, you have to be smart and dependable. And, we do so many different things. We vary from week to week. We're constantly changing and evolving. And, you know, Flo does a good job of putting us in positions to succeed that game. And depending on who we're playing and who they got over there is depending on how we're going to play them and attack them. And so you got to be smart. You got to be able to play multiple positions. You got to be able to move and, you know, have good instincts. And when you got guys like Harrison Smith that can allow you to be in the best position, the best play possible, and it allows you to play fast and kind of expect plays that are coming, and which ultimately leads to turnovers and puts a lot of pressure on them.
And lastly, congratulations to you and your wife on the birth of your newest child. What is said child's name, and how many do you have now?
Little boy is Truett Weidler, and this is our third little boy. We're super grateful. My wife Sam's a trooper and does a great job, so very blessed.
Well, I would say, you know, hey, go enjoy Turks and Caicos or maybe this elongated vacation to warm weather. But you got yeah, I know. Well, you got the new baby and you got a stable over there. But hey, man, God bless you. Genuinely appreciate not only the way you play, but the prayers we have before each and every game and just your kindness. So look forward to seeing you at OTAs, and thanks for everything.
Yep. Thank you, PA. Appreciate it.
The Gink is on fire. Final drive-bys for the 2025. TimberTech, timbertech.com. Thank you for everything. Not only 2025, but into 2026. Providing the What's on Deck 9 to noon, which includes Vikes Bites around the corner, orchestrated by Nordo, who did good work with the One Last Cry Monday morning montage. I'm Paul Allen. Good morning. This is 9 to noon.
The Fan.
What up? Welcome back. 9 to noon. It is time for Vikes Bites.
It's Vikes Bites, not the Vikes Bite.
That is correct. Vikings ending their season, sadly, yesterday without a playoff berth, but they did end the season with a 5th consecutive victory in Border Battle 131. C.J. Ham scoring his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Just kind of on this note, and we're going to bring up Harrison Smith as well. Awesome interview that Ben Lieber had with Harrison Smith in the locker room. We'll be playing that back later on, 9 to noon. But just C.J. Ham, and you think about the journey from Duluth-Denfeld and finding his way, trying out, making the team, carving out a spot for himself. Even, I mean, now we're talking through 2 regimes, PA, where the offense changes, his snaps may go down on offense, and CJ Ham's like, all right, well, I'm just going to go become the baddest-ass special teams captain and handle business in that area, and finding his way into a nearly decade-long career. Just kind of thoughts on seeing CJ get his way into the end zone yesterday in the finale, and what really CJ has meant over, again, nearly a decade in purple.
Well, he's been a bastion of excellence, and I don't throw that term out too often when it comes to football players. But on and off the field, as a father, as a husband, balancing the hours and the time that goes into lasting a decade in the National Football League, where the lines are long and the gigs are hard to find, man. And the diminishing nature of the fullback is very apparent. Just a bastion of excellence. He's salt of the earth. He took what he had, made the most of it for a decade, and gets to walk away from the game on his terms, which is rare in the National Football League. So 9 to noon applaud C.J. Ham.
Absolutely. Vikes Bites! How about this Vikes Bite? So Tom and everybody, thanks again, Tom and everybody associated with Zone Coverage. Zonecoverage.com. They cover all sorts of the Minnesota sports scene, but in particular, Vikings-related coverage. Mr. John Bonus, Tom Schreier, putting together Nordo's numbers on a weekly basis. And Tom handed me this yesterday, that the Vikings have held their opponents to -3 net passing yards or fewer in the first half. They did this yesterday for the 2nd time this season, becoming the first team to do so since the Jets in 2023. First time in Vikings team history since 2003 when the stats started being measured. As we close the book on things, there are many things that this team has to sweat, this fan base has to sweat, as we've discussed, PA. But one thing we can't sweat is how good this defense was really for the totality of the season, shutting down the pass, getting to the QB. Sadly, the turnovers and the takes weren't there where we needed them until it was giving season, in which we were takers on Christmas Day against those kiddies.
Yep.
But all the same, the shutdown factor and this defense over the course of 2025, one of the many pleasures, I think, despite not being a playoff team, that you can sink your teeth into and really enjoy about what we watched over the 17.
And did so through myriad injuries to key players. Like Blake Cashman came into the game yesterday with 137 tackles. If he had gotten 18 yesterday, he would have had the most tackles in a single season of any Viking in the history of the team. All right, well, Green Bay, with what it offered yesterday in third preseason game like fashion, Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks couldn't get through the line of scrimmage to get to Cashman. But like Cashman at 137, and he missed 4 games. So he would have been a cinch to crack Greenway's 2011 record of 154. Grenard, in, out, finishes the season on IR. Van Ginkel, gone a month and change. Harrison Smith misses a couple to start the season. So through all of that, to be able to achieve what this defense achieved, it finishes the season pretty much exactly in my heart. It's easy to share pretty much exactly what I said after that Lions game, that it's one of the more underrated stories in the NFL that nationally, like nobody, no Cam Newton, no Ryan Clark, no Stephen A. Smith, no Dan Orlovsky, they ain't talking about it. Why? 9-8 terrorism.
Yeah.
This is 9-8. This is 9-8 radio. That's 9-8 terrorism. And unless something changed with the afternoon games, I believe the Vikings finished first in the league in fumble recoveries. They were near the top in forced fumbles. It was like weeks 7 through 13 or something. They were allowing 26 points per game, and their take-give was minus 13. Then during the 4 games up to the Packers game, they were giving up 12 a game, so that obviously got better off yesterday. And their take-give, the turnover differential, went to plus 7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they put that pedal to the metal at the end of the season with what they had. So that you know, it's when it comes to the sweats and the pragmatic nature of the pillars of sweats for now. When do they re-up Flores? Is the play leave forever with McCarthy? And can we finally nail more draft picks and have them help post haste and for years to come? So that's where my mind is heading into this offseason.
Vikes Bites. They did remain number 1 in fumble recoveries, by the way. I think, let me see here. It was 13.
Yeah.
And that was, according to PFR, Pro Football Reference, that's still number 1 in the NFL. Now that the Week 18 games all finished up, we now officially really know who our opponents are going to be road and home. Of course, we all celebrate Happy Schedule Day once the spring hits. But
road schedule looks cool.
Road schedule is interesting. You got Bears, Lions, and Packers, of course. But then you're going to hit up the Saints and the Bucks of the NFC South. Going to get to go see Drake May, PA. Going to get to go see Bravel and Drake May out east. The New York Jets. New York Jets, first team, by the way, in nearly a century to not have an interception via their defense all season long.
The Jets finished with 0 interceptions.
No picks.
Oh, my heavens.
No picks, and it was only 3 or 4 takes by the defense in totality the entire season. So Patriots and Jets on the road, and then it will be the Niners of the NFC West as they finish 3rd in that division. The 3rd place bit also impacts the home schedule, as you'll be seeing the Indianapolis Colts and the Washington Commanders, part of the AFC South and NFC West. So that's where our home and road opponents may have been impacted by finishes, and that's where we sit into 2026.
By not finishing last in the division, the Minnesota Vikings went from getting the Giants, Cardinals, and Titans to the Commanders, 49ers, and Colts. I mean, it's not precipitous with the change, but you put the Niners in there, and it kind of is. If Jaden refines the fire, Danny Dimes, as opposed to Titans in search of new coach. Cardinals, who knows what's up with them, and the New York Giants also in search of a new coach. Okay.
Well, I think the Colts are going to have issues specifically early in the season, unless, Riley Leonard, you saw him try to air it out in that finale against the Texans yesterday.
Yeah.
But Danny Dimes tearing his Achilles, I don't see how there's any shot that he would be available and I think he's going to be a free agent. Let's say they choose to bring him back. How on earth would he be available by opening day? In terms of finishing 3rd for me, and maybe people will discount it or look at it differently, I don't necessarily say, oh my goodness, we have to play the Commanders instead of the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't really look at it that way. Yes, record-wise, Colts significantly at this stage better team than Cam Ward and the Titans. Maybe that's subject to change. The only one that I really think of is, man, it would have been nice to play the Cards with the potentially a new head coach versus Shanahan and the Niners on the road. So I just, how can you sweat the schedule at this stage of the season? I'm still sweating the fact that we're not playing a game this weekend, that I'm going to watch
I hate it.
An NFC North border battle that my team is not involved in.
Yeah.
I believe that'll be on Saturday night, but there you are. There's the 2026 schedule to put a wrap on. Vikes
I'm
Bites.
not, and I'm not saying that, my vibe or my feeling is the right way to look at it. I'm just saying it's my vibe and or my feeling, so I get it. And what that is I'm not on the we only missed by a half game bit. It's like a lot of people have brought that up to me over the last weekend. At all. Well, it's really after Duvernay's kick return, it's what I said then is what I feel now. When you know there is a super long shot that you make the postseason, and you have 3 major holidays in front of you, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day, that's a shame on you. I mean, that's an absolute shame on you to know that you're 95% not going to make the playoffs, and you got 3 major holidays in front of you. So they never, after the Duvernay kick return, they never were making the playoffs. And the half game thing, big deal, man. Big deal with the freaking half game thing.
Well, you know what? I'll say this for listeners and fans that are appreciating that there were reasons to be optimistic. Kind of, okay, so how am I going to sum up this season? Fire everybody. This was a complete mess. You told us the roster was set to win now. You moved on from Rodgers and Darnold and all these opportunities with veteran QBs. You said the kid was ready. He clearly was not. And this thing's a complete mess. Whole regime's got to go. That's one way that you can sum it up. The other end of it, I do appreciate the idea that some are saying, you know what, this did suck. The quarterback wasn't ready. We saw growth pieces, but it wasn't good enough. We had 100 injuries. And yes, if we can just freaking stop Duvernay, we are. Yeah. And I forget what the other, if the Bears had lost here and maybe it played this way, technically they were close to even potentially winning the NFC North. So this is silver lining season, and those that look to burn the thing down or those that are looking for consolation in some of those ideas, I'm not really mad at it. To your point, though, I'm not sitting here going, "Yeah, we were just a Duvernay kick away." I can't get there at this stage. I
think I'm into the equation. They're like yesterday had some highlights to it. Being in the building wasn't nearly as energetic or emotional as Christmas Day against the Lions, where Harry the Hitman was repeatedly honored on the sideline and stuff like that. And it was a really, really touching situation. There were touching moments yesterday, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'll never forget, and I'm glad into the game, because I got wrapped up yesterday on the potential of, how long, do you have quick twitch access to how long the game took? Like what the final time of the game was?
Oh, total game time. I mean, not as quick twitch as you probably need. Sorry.
Well, here's the bit. It's with Clayton Tune terrorism. It was super predictable. Green Bay would run 70 or 80% of the time. Clock runs. Now you got the Vikings with the ball, and they're going to play a regular offensive game. Then you get into John Hussey, the white hat, the referee, and John Hussey's group calls the 14th most penalties of the 17 staffs.
It was 242.
242?
Yeah.
So Hussey, they don't throw many flags. Hussey wants to get out of there fast, too. Tune terrorism, green and gold going to run. So I got wrapped up yesterday over, and Hussey did his part, too, by the way. I got
everybody trying to get out of there.
Philadelphia and Las Vegas earlier this season. Philly beat Las Vegas 31-0. That game took 2 hours and 31 minutes. In 1996, Indianapolis Colts and San Diego Chargers played. That game took 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Fastest game in the history of the NFL. I thought we were going to crack that yesterday. Into the game, man, I'm like, we're going to crack this today. Now, I got this Hussey steam, too, man. He never throws any flags. But see, after I explained that early in the game, I'm like, John Hussey and the Hussey crew might be my favorite of all the officiating crews in the NFL. Games are always in control with John Hussey. He's a cool cat, and his staff is really, really good. So I'm like, I'm glad we got Hussey today, man. He's one of my favorites, he and his staff. And he kind of validated that later in the game when referee John Hussey went on the microphone during a Vikings timeout and said, he said this to everybody in the stadium. The Vikings took a timeout to honor Harrison Smith. John Hussey said that on the microphone in the stadium.
I love that.
I mean, I can't remember the last time a referee said something into a microphone that was non-infraction related, and everybody stood. John Hussey's the bomb, man.
Yeah,
but 242, so we missed it. Yeah, we missed it by about 15 minutes. Damn.
I'll admit, we're behind it. I was actually looking at the clock and thinking to myself, okay, we got a Wolves game at 5.
Yeah.
So we got to fill this time with fan line.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, season-ending fan line. Can you stretch this? Can we take the coach maybe a minute or two, couple extra questions here?
Yeah.
Before we get to fan line and put a wrap on this thing.
Yeah.
But it was as it should have been, most likely, is you got a team that has nothing to play for non-postseason year, and the other team's just trying to get out alive and get to the playoffs. So
John Hussey on the microphone Timeout Vikings. They took the timeout to honor Harrison Smith.
So good.
Place went nuts, man.
Yeah, I love that. That's Vikes Bites.
Some talkbacks around the corner. I might drop in some later in the show. If not, plenty of time this week to formulate some Vikings takes and talkers and tedium and tie them to maybe Tuesday talkbacks. So your talkbacks are around the corner, followed by the analyst, Pete Bursich, in-booth analyst for the Vikings Audio Network. All that's around the corner on KFAN.
Hey, Paul Nordo. I think it goes without saying the biggest talker this offseason will be the quarterback situation. Me personally, I think McCarthy showed enough flashes to at least earn a spot on the roster, but I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in some competition for him this coming offseason. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on this and whether or not you still believe he could be our future franchise quarterback going forward.
Yeah, that's going to be on the minds of football fans and a lot of Vikings fans for days, weeks, and months. And welcome back to 9 to Noon, Talkback Central for this segment. Yes, there will need to be some form of a different or a veteran quarterback brought into the Minnesota Vikings franchise. However, I would make J.J. McCarthy minus 700 to be the starting quarterback for the Vikings week 1 next year.
Yeah.
Minus 700 minimum. Massive favorite. Meaning if you want to win 100, you got to put 700 up to get my 100. And if you don't think it's going to be the case, you put up your 100 and 9 to Noon gives you like 550, something like that. So he's prohibitively favored. When it comes to what I or we believe about what's next for JJ and like franchise quarterback and stuff like that, that's going to take some while for me. That's going to take a while for me to unpack. Because yes, I'm excited to watch JJ McCarthy version 2 start 11 week 1 next year. But a franchise quarterback, that's a big tag. I got to think that out a little bit.
Yeah, and he just needs, there's no way after what we've seen, 6-4 this and total TDs that, there's no way that you could prognosticate that he's the franchise QB or will be at this stage. I'm with you, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to go through days, weeks, and months of talking about J.J. McCarthy every single day.
No.
That's a 9 to Noon mandate. That's an edict. It'll be chatted about. It will be discussed. And if new things emerge to me from a background standpoint that I feel without breaching trust I can share, I will share. But until we see him not play leaf, it's very hard for me to formulate a conclusive opinion.
Exactly. But I would happen to agree with you here. I think he's the massive favorite to start. There will be another QB name, raising the level of that room, I think is how it's been phrased.
Yeah.
In the last week or so. And that's the goal. But still, I think McCarthy would be in a very good spot to start.
Well, and from a veteran backup standpoint, I have no idea. I'm going to wait for teams to play in the postseason and then some rumors from reliable people to circulate as to potentially like what names can be made available. One thing that I know I do feel and won't change from is no matter how substandard people believe a certain name is, I will yield to what happened here in the regular season with Sam Darnold, and some of the things they got out of Carson Wentz when he was healthy, some things they got out of Nick Mullins when he was healthy, and the way Daniel Jones was set up for success to go somewhere else. Sadly, go somewhere else. So it's not really the name, the individual name on which I'm going to focus, but it's the philosophy and the theory of what you just said there, where you said fortifying the room or something.
Yeah, raising the level. But I will actually I
have no idea who's available.
Well, but if you look at the names, I'm not interested in reading the names for you. that does play into it for me, why he would be massively favored.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm looking at the free agents.
Yeah.
Save for, and this is also what makes him heavily favored, is the alternative would be team makes massive blockbuster move for a guy from another team. And you've seen the superstar stuff being bandied about and what so-and-so would look like in purple and gold. And just the lack of likelihood there combined with what is out there, it's too early to give up on this investment. Or is it? You know what I mean? So,
but it's way, way, way too early for me. I mean, because like in his, I don't have the game calling depth chart in front of me, but up to yesterday's game, he was 3-0 in his previous 3 starts, and his completion percentage was 66. His yards per attempt was 8.5.
Yeah,
8.5 is a fat number. Might even lead the NFL if you do it over the course of a season. And he had 7 touchdowns against 2 picks. I mean, it's to each their own with their taste as to what you want to see exponentially with jumps. But there was a jump in improvement for the 22-year-old during the course of the season.
There was.
So the expectation is with maturity and with knowledge and physically growing into age 23. He turns 23 in like just a few weeks. Well, then the expectation is that it will be even better next year, and I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, I agree with you there. More talkbacks here. Well, this one's a little more pessimistic, but an optimistic bent towards the end.
Hey, Paul, here's what I think of the season. Kwesi, out. KOC can stay. Flores hopefully stays.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find a new quarterback. Harrison Smith is a Hall of Famer. And C.J. Ham, Duluth Dunfeld, stand up.
Duluth Denfeld, stand up.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the talk back.
Let's do one more.
Good morning, Nordo and PA. Mike from Tampa. Great to see the Vikings win 5 in a row, but I still feel like this season was a big disappointment. We don't know where we are with JJ. Too many injuries, too many things went wrong with him. We spent a lot of money in the offseason last year to do not a lot. It's not very nice to see us out of the playoffs yet again. Need to see a playoff win and a deep playoff run next year, or I think that we need to move on from the current leadership. What do you think?
Well, moving on from the current leadership, if that includes the head coach, let's not forget. Well, he has a really, really good regular season record, 0-2 in the postseason. Very easy and amenable with whom to work for people with the Vikings. That matters. So, yeah, I mean, if Kevin O'Connell's included in the leadership, then you can just go ahead and draw a line through that because that ain't happening. I don't believe that the timing is right to move on from general managers and or certain personnel people at this stage of the equation. So I make it minus 1,800 to win 100 that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah will be the general manager into next year. And finally, off the tone of I think it was Mike in Tampa. Yeah, I'm greatly disappointed too. And it's strange in that this really all just hit me within like the last half week, where, like I said, after Duvernay had that kick return and Santos walked off on the Vikings, that for all intents and purposes, as I go, that was it. I mean, the percentage was too bad to make the postseason. You got monsters in front of you on the schedule, and that 3 to 8%, I was out on that. So when you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day in front of you, and you know you're not going to make the playoffs, that's why I started introducing these are human nature games. And from a human nature standpoint, it was 10 of 10 try for every single player on that team to win 5 consecutive. Well, that comes back to leadership too. That's the word culture that is trite and overused in a lot of different places. It's not here. You can believe me or not. It's not. Because if it was, then you would have problems with effort and you'd be benching people and things like that over the final month and change. But I was the one who loudly said into the playoffs. I mean, there was a qualifier into the regular season training camp and stuff. There was a qualifier unless you have debilitating massive injuries and have like a quarterback carousel. Well, then maybe making the playoffs would be more difficult than I think. But I'm disappointed they didn't make the playoffs. And yeah, I was there for all three quarterbacks, just like everybody else was. And all of the injuries and the 25 offensive line. Yes, that's a lot. That is a lot. But they invested in a roster to make the postseason and advance through the postseason. And if you're investing in people who are coming off previous debilitating injuries and they have to miss time again, well, who should be surprised? All right. So therefore, that's a look in the mirror moment, in my opinion. And I ain't talking about me. So, yeah, I'm disappointed they didn't make the playoffs. I mean, I was greatly disappointed recently that they didn't make the playoffs, man, because I started thinking about some ideas and takes and talkers and stuff like that into the season. Then you look at the totality of it, and you recognize the defense finished as one of the best overall defenses in the NFL against Sam Darnold, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, et al. It wasn't a fluky Clayton Tune every single game thing. And the kicker's the best in show, don't at me. So it's just a freaking shame that they're not bringing this defense and this kicker into the postseason. It's really starting to bug me, so let's call the analyst.